Welcome to the Shellonomics Podcast, your source for pure Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles entertainment, presented by King Mictus.
Okay, dudes, books 7 and 8 are here. My dude is on the cover of 7. We've got more. I was talking to Christian earlier, and he made a good point. He's like, dude, your emotions are going crazy, Mike, because you're reading these on a weekly basis. Me, on the other hand, I had at least a couple months to sink in some of these emotions. So I've been writing Christian on the side like, dude, I need a shoulder to cry on, man. This gets heartbreaking, and especially at the end of 7. So what was going through your mind? We won't spoil anything yet, but when you were reading these little, how did you process the pain? I mean, there's a lot of pain in these books.
Oh, yes. There are really some storylines and some scenes in these books that really hurt you. And you're like, okay, I need a break now for a moment. It's really, I mean, it's just, it just shows how good these stories are, how good, well written these stories and these characters are, that you really feel when they are really hurt, you really feel it. I mean, hey, just look at the end of the last book when Splinter became the leader of the Foot Clan and Mikey was like, no, that's too much for me. I'm out. And yeah, it doesn't get better now, as we're going to find out. And yeah, it's, as I said, it's like I was reading these books month by month. So it's like, okay, that's hard, but now I have a month to process it. And yeah, I always can only recommend these books because if you need, not that I have a problem with, the lighter stuff, the funny stuff. I mean, classic cartoon is fantastic, but if you really want to get some more serious stuff, but don't forget about the fun, because there's also fun in these books. But to get a little bit more serious, little bit more mature, I might say, I can only recommend these books because, yeah, I mean, look at us. We are both grown ups, and there are things here in these books that really, that really gets straight into the feelings. So, yeah, it's something to process, I guess.
And what's great about these two, Christian, again, we're joined by TMNTTALK too, our good friend here, is they just do a great job bringing everybody together. We're going to find out, dun, 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 somebody else from a different universe comes in here. We've got other characters that were toys popping in here later, which was a really creepy one we talked about as well. How come they, just in your opinion, why does it work here? We've seen it in other movies and other, companies. They try and bring stuff together. It's like, that is not the way I remember it. But in this book, it's just glorious. Everything works.
I think the main thing is that they really take their time. They're not like, okay, we have all these characters, we're gonna throw them all in and we're gonna see what happens. No, they really take their time, and they only bring in characters, like well-known characters or even some obscure characters from other universes, and they reinterpret them in a new way. And they really take the time where they're like, okay, now is the right time to bring them in. I mean, last time, remember, Leatherhead was brought in, and I mean, he was. I think I'm getting ahead of myself.
It's okay.
I mean, he was teased. He was teased. Yeah. He was teased last time, and it took them like almost 50 issues to get to Leatherhead, one of the most well-known characters in the TMNT universe. They could have like brought him in, like, okay, let's have issue 5 because people want Leatherhead. Let's give them Leatherhead. No, they really thought like, okay, now is the right time to bring the character in, and we're gonna find out more about him. And I think that's the formula there. Like, just find the right time to get the right characters. And like, okay, we have like, I don't know. I mean, Bludgeon is one of these characters, like the mutant shark. He's a new character in the IDW universe. And we already had Mutant Shark. We had Armagon. But they said like, okay, Armagon is a shark, Bludgeon is a shark, but Bludgeon doesn't feel like Armagon, because Armagon, remember, like time traveling, he's from the future, he's like the cybernetic shark. That doesn't work. We make another character. And this is like really this, where there's so much thought put into the stories, into these characters, and they really know what they're doing. And hey, Tom Waltz, Kevin Eastman, I can only applaud them for all their effort and all their thoughts they really put into the stories. And yeah, as you said, it just works.
And this is just a full step on the gas the full way through, guys, because in book 7, there are no miniseries. We are just going to break down issues 51 all the way to 64 like that. So, Christian, feel free to start with dun 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 51. And anytime you see something that's a continuation, you go right with it, brother. Take it away.
Alrighty then, 51. So, there's a new gang in town. The Street Phantoms and the leader, Jammer. And they have like this technology, they have these cloaking cloaks. And this is somehow familiar to Harold. So, as we know, Splinter is now the Jonin of the Foot Clan, the leader of the Foot Clan. And the Turtles, except for Michelangelo, help him to like get the Foot Clan on the right track, to get them back from the evil ways that Shredder put them on. And yeah, Kitsune is also a prisoner of Splinter. And we also find out that the boss behind the Street Phantoms turns out to be a man named Darius Dunn. So yeah, once again, they bring like the Street Phantoms and Darius Dunn, a little bit more obscure characters from the Fast Forward season from 2003 in here. And once again, it just feels like, okay, this is the right time to bring them in. And a foot assassin approaches Dunn because she thinks that Splinter is making the Foot Clan weak. And she's like, hey, we can work together to get the Foot Clan back on the right track. And yeah, with this dun-dun moment, issue number 51 ends.
Now, I've got a question for you, because to me, you usually like the analogies I give. I want people who have not read these books yet just to try and give you guys a vision of how these characters look, because they have been evolving. There's been different artwork through every book. And am I going to be wrong, Christian, if I say these turtles, with the way they're drawn, kind of reminds you of the Red Sky? Like they're trying to get a little bit darker and a little deeper? Like you see like the grit and Donatello in that book? You know what I'm saying here?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. And yeah, it's a new artist here. I don't have it in front of me, so I'm sorry, I cannot say who it is right now. But the artwork really, it really get a little bit darker and grittier feeling, like a more street level feeling here that we get. And yeah, I really get the comparison to the Red Sky season here. So yeah, and once again, it's like it just feels right, the right time for this artwork, for this story. And yeah, and once again, hey, it just is really, really good.
Yep, I believe the colors were done by Rhonda Pattison, if I say that right, and the letters were by Sean Lee, just to make sure we get that plug in there. So, dude, coming up next is a character that's gonna have a huge impact later, because a lot of people already know this one starts with the letter J, is going to be popping up a lot more. So we'll break this character down, but feel free to pop us into 52.
Issue number 52. So Splinter is at Foot headquarters and he gets attacked by the Street Phantoms and the mysterious Foot assassin. Other Foot ninjas, Leonardo and Alopex, come to Splinter's help, and together they are able to chase off the Street Phantoms. And the assassin turns out to be a young woman named Janica. Remember that name. She thought that Splinter was weak, but he proved otherwise, and she realizes the errors of her ways and she swears allegiance to Splinter. Meanwhile, what's up with Michelangelo? Mikey gets invited to the Mutanimals headquarters. But what the Mutanimals don't know is that they are monitored by Agent Winter of an organization called Darkwater. Once again, Darkwater, Agent Winter. We've heard this name before. That was coming back to the Red Sky season. That was characters from the Red Sky season. So yeah, and yeah, that's the end of issue number 52.
Oh, we've got a back-to-back coming up here too, because they're trying. It's when you, I guess, when you started to read these again. You know, I'm the Mikey guy here. It's like you're not focused on the negative, but you're just like, the Turtles got to get back together. This is just too good to be true, because Mikey looks thrilled to death when you start breaking us into 53. There's going to be a little chaos at the end of that, which brings us into 54. But dude, Mikey was in a good spot here, man, with this little birthday surprise type thing here.
Yeah, because the Mutanimals, they're really in the issue, starting with issue number 53, the Mutanimals really welcome Michelangelo, like, hey, we know you're not part of your brother's clan anymore and everything. So, like, hey, maybe you can join the Mutanimals, like a new partnership, a new family. And for now, Mike is really like, okay, cool. Because we know Mike, he doesn't want to be alone. He needs friends around him. So the Mutanimals, together with Mikey, go on a mission to stop a weapons shipment for some gangsters. And they are successful, but Mikey doesn't believe that old Hop just wants to destroy these weapons. He's like, okay, there's more behind it. And it turns out that Hop is actually hoarding these weapons at the warehouse. But Mikey also doesn't realize that nobody else but Han is sneaking up behind him, which leads us straight into issue number 54, where Han attacks Michelangelo. We know Han and Old Hop, they have some kind of alliance, and Hop wants to stop him, but Han wants to beat Mikey up. Like, hey, I'm pissed at these turtles, I want to beat them up. But then Slash arrives and stops Han. Hop explains that the Mutanimals need money for their missions, and for this, he sells weapons with Han's help. And Slash is absolutely not cool with this, and he leaves the Mutanimals. And so, yeah, pretty much that's also the end of Mikey's partnership with the Mutanimals. But on the last page of issue number 54, we see that near Burno Island, the Dark Water Group meets with a mysterious man named Agent Bishop. Dun-dun.
Dude, just well pitched. Now, how excited were you seeing Bishop? Because you were a Bishop fan since 2003. You're like one of the dudes who was really, emotionally invested in this character. So how excited were you the first time you saw Agent Bishop? And they do it so cool because when you read that book, I want to set the tone again for you guys. He just appears on the last little inking part. He doesn't appear anywhere except right at the bottom with the shaking of the hands.
Yeah, it's like a little teaser for us. And hey, I was so happy because, as you said, I think Agent Bishop was such an interesting character, an interesting new addition to the TMNT lore, and that they brought him in here, and you don't know what's up with him. Is he like in the 2003 show? Is he different? What's up with him? We're gonna find out. But yeah, I was really happy. Like, okay, you brought in one of my favorite bad guys. Let's go.
Nice treat to it. And he's going to have a big role. So let's ask this too before we get deeper into these books, because we are going to cover them all here on Shellonomics, on Spotify and YouTube, all the way to book 18, The Endgame. Early thoughts on Jennica. For me, I didn't think she was going to have a huge role. I thought she was going to be more similar to Angel, like she's going to be appear in a lot of comics. Early thoughts on Jennica before she became who she is.
Yeah, pretty much the same here. It's like, okay, she's a new character. She's now, she became now like a right-hand woman to Splinter, like a big part of the Foot Clan. And I was cool with this. Like, okay, she's an interesting character, like, as you said, like Angel or Alopex. But then I never thought that she would have the impact that she's gonna have later on. But yeah, back then, like, okay, cool girl, got some style. She's got cool moves. She's a good fighter, an assassin, and yeah, let's see where this is going. She's gonna play a bigger role, and yeah, just for if you don't know, she's gonna play a very big role later on.
It's not going to be easy being green with her for sure as we get later on in these books. Quick little plug before we get into book 55 here. Christian broke the news on his Discord. So if anybody here is listening to this on Spotify or YouTube, I encourage you to check out my Twitch gaming channel, because next week we're going to be playing with one of the new characters that is a focal point in this next issue we're going to break down. Yes, indeed. Alopex is a playable character in a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles video game. She's out on Splintered Fate. Our good friend Christian called it. Have you been able to play with her yet? I'm playing next week. I've been so busy with work and other projects, but I'm curious if you got to play a little bit of Alopex and Splintered Fate yet. Yeah,
I've played 1 or 2 rounds with her, and let me just say, it's really cool. She's really cool. She's a fast character. She's got some cool special moves and stuff, and she's even got her own little storyline in the game. Not going to spoil anything, but some nice little dialogues with like Karai and so on. She's a really cool addition to the game, and it's just cool to have Alopex in there, and great addition to the game. And yeah, she's fun to play, I gotta say.
That's what I'm looking forward to, and I'm just happy that game still has life, and it's currently the only game where all of us can play from across the globe with cross-play for everything. You don't need to have it on Steam. You can have it on Steam, PlayStation, anywhere you want. You'll be able to network with people. So, without further ado, let's get into the next episode and see if we get maybe a little reunion with our, fearsome foursome.
Yeah. So issue number 55. Here, as he got thrown out kind of by the Mutanimals, Michelangelo returns to the original TMNT lair. Like, okay, I don't know where I should go. Let's hang out there for a moment. Meanwhile, Angel and Alopex, they team up to find some street phantoms and get to know more about them. And we also see that Kitsune is manipulating Alopex for her own nefarious plans. And on the other hand, we have Casey and April. And because Casey lately was very aggressive, was acting very aggressive, like beating up evildoers even more than he did before. And April wants to have a talk with him, and well, it does not go very well because they start arguing, and in the end, they unfortunately break up. So the other turtles, they go to Mikey's lair with some pizza, because even though he is not part of the Foot Clan, they are still family. And they're like, hey, Mikey, we have a new mission, and it's got nothing to do with the Foot Clan. We want to go to Burno Island to meet up with the Fugitoid, and we want you to come with us. So Mikey's like, yeah, the team is back again for a new mission.
Were you happy that they came back? And well, again, it's just like you said earlier, just great writing, because you get hit right in the stomach. April and Casey are done, but there's light at the end of the tunnel because the turtles are back. So early thoughts on, I mean, they did a really good job writing the dialogue with the struggles. That's a relationship you root for. You know, there's problems, there's struggles, yet April's trying to communicate. She's not trying to argue. So what was your, emotional process with this? Two of the characters you've beloved for well over, at that time, 30 plus years.
Yeah, I mean, you really started to see some problems between April and Casey in the Casey and April miniseries. But, well, in the end, they were good again. But, like, okay, it's going to be... But it's going to be problematic later on. And, yeah, unfortunately, this is where it was. And, I mean, I was really sorry because... You know, I'm a hopeless romantic. I love it. Like, okay, get together, be happy, have a happy life. That's what I want to see. And it really breaks my heart when I see like these beloved characters like breaking up. Like, oh, that's too bad. But you know how the dialogue was written and everything. It felt real. It felt like these were real characters going through real problems. And yes, we're talking about a comic book about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But still, these characters feel real because the dialogue is just that good. It just feels like real dialogue that real people in the real world would have. And yeah, but then it's even worse. The heartbreak is even worse when things like this happen.
Yeah, it's just... well, we're going to be rooting for those guys. We'll learn some more with some advice that April gets from somebody down the road. But for now, by gumbo, it is finally Gator time here.
Yeah, starting with issue number 56. The Turtles, they go to Burno Island with the teleporter. Meanwhile, at the Foot Clan headquarters, the Rat King visits his sister Kitsune. On Burno Island, the Turtles want to help Fugitoid with the Utroms, who are still in stasis. Because remember, like, Burno Island was terraformed and was now fine for the Utroms to live on. But a lot of Utroms still in stasis. So, okay, we're going to wake them up bit by bit. And Fugitoid introduces the Turtles to a new ally, Leatherhead, a giant alligator mutant. Leatherhead can't live on the island anymore, and he helps Honeycutt for the freedom to go to New York, where he could live freely, as he thinks. One by one, the Utroms are brought back to life, but later on, Honeycutt finds some Utroms slaughtered, and he gets attacked by a mysterious assailant. And once again, with this cliffhanger, the issue ends.
Oof, well, feel free to get right into it, dude, because this is crazy. It's good to see Leatherhead for me. I love my Leatherhead, and it's not the hat one. I like I like the hat. I like the cartoon version. Actually, let me ask you this first. What is your favorite incarnation of Leatherhead? I hope you don't get mad for asking that, but for me, it's the cartoon one. I just like that one best, the OG one.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, the classic cartoon version is just so well known with like the I guarantee my gumbo, and like
it's a big thanks to Jim. Yeah, I can't promise if it was no disrespect to the person who voice acted him when they did the in season 7 it was Night of the Rogues and Jim Cummings was not voicing Leatherhead at the time. I can't say that, but Jim Cummings just did such a great job to just bring so much life to that character. So that one's always going to be my number one.
Yeah, understandable. So, I mean, it's funny with Leatherhead because Leatherhead in every incarnation is very different. In the original Mirage comics, he was a friend to the Turtles. In the cartoon, he was an enemy. Then in 2003, he was a friend again. And what's up with him here? We're going to find out. 2012, he was like also a friend to the Turtles and so on and so forth. It's like every time Leatherhead is very, very different, has a different alliance, like a different relationship to the Turtles, gotta say. And yeah, it's really hard. I mean, yeah, as I said, the classic Leatherhead is such an iconic character. Yeah, but just think about the 2012 Leatherhead. It's really a tragic character. He like gets tortured and everything by the Krang, and he's got this burst of rage because of all that happened to him. So he's very interesting. But yeah, I mean, this character, this version, IDW version, is also very interesting and also very different. Going through some wild stuff later on. So, who is my favorite? Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna give it this. I don't think I wouldn't say my favorite, but I think the most iconic one. Yeah, that's gotta be the original cartoon Leatherhead.
Yeah, that one stands out just so good. And it's funny because when they have the action figures come out, my buddy used to collect the Loyal Subjects. That was the older line, but they had I was like, 2 good things they did with those toys. They had the helmet for Rocksteady, and they had the hat for Leatherhead. And I was like, dude, A plus. This is before NECA and all those other good stuff. So feel free to pop in the next issue, and a nice little Easter egg. I'm pretty sure you have it in your notes, but I just like where they mention a wrestling match with Leatherhead. I mean, it's like, come on, dude. They just deliver so good little, plugs here and there for us OG fans and people like yourself who have loved Turtles since your first day finding out they existed.
Yeah, absolutely. So issue number 57. Here we find out that Leatherhead found the bodies and the now depowered Fugitoid. And for now, since Krang is gone and no one else is here, Marielle of the Utroms takes up leadership. And because her brother, who would be second in command to Krang, is still in stasis. Her brother's name, by the way, is Jarrell. So once again, might be familiar, that name. So Leonardo, Raphael, and Leatherhead go looking for this mysterious killer. In the tunnels beneath the island, the team runs into Drag and Granitor, the Stone Warriors, and they have trouble breathing in this new atmosphere. So they're not up to the top game. The Turtles think that the 2 Stone Warriors are behind the attack, but it seems that Leatherhead has more to do with it, which brings us straight into issue number 58, because Leatherhead then later on returns to the Utroms and tells the others that they were attacked. So Mikey goes to check it out as the Fugitoid gets repaired, and as he's powering up again, he says that Leatherhead is the one who attacked him. Mikey finds the others and they tell Mikey that they were also attacked by Leatherhead. And why Leatherhead actually hates the Utroms. Because as a mutant, he was captured by Krang and experimented on and later on left to rot in a jail cell. So Leatherhead now wants to kill all the Utroms who he sees as evil, but he is stopped by the Turtles. Leatherhead, after a little fight, escapes through a portal to New York. The Turtles follow him. But once he's there, Leatherhead gets overwhelmed by all the lights and the sounds of the city, and he escapes into the water to fight another day, and he disappears. So Leatherhead, gone for now. The Turtles, after this adventure, return to the Foot Clan headquarters to find Kitsune is free with Alopex fighting foot soldiers, and she's about to kill Splinter. So come on, not one moment of, not one prever going straight into the next catastrophe.
Yeah, we'll let you catch your breath really quick. So let's talk you through this. This is one of the characters I hate, and that's Kitsune, which I'm not sure if it's a good hate or a bad hate. And what I mean by that is in terms of WWE wrestlers, there's real heat and there's cheap heat. A real heat would be someone like Triple H back in the late 90s with Evolution, and you're just like, there's someone you want to take him down, or even Roman Reigns when he had that long title run. And then there's some wrestlers who have what's known as cheap heat, where it's like, just get this character out of here. So I don't know how I feel about this character yet, but what were they doing, Christian? They had it. I mean, Splinter took over the Foot Clan, and he was taught. Remember, she kind of like in the beginning when we were reading these books, she kind of like, she like put herself in like a prison, right? And Splinter knew something was going to happen. So why didn't they do anything earlier? Was it honor? Just if there's any explanation you think you can give to why she's even still here. You knew she was nothing but trouble.
Yeah, but what should a Splinter done with her except for taking a prisoner? It's like, okay, go free. He definitely could not do this. And he was also not the character like to kill her. I mean, we're talking about Kitsune. Kitsune is like a demigod. She, as far as we know, she cannot be easily killed. She's been living for hundreds of years. So for now, it's like, okay, we're gonna put you in jail for now, and we're gonna figure out something later on. And I think Splinter did not really know what to do with her, so he just, I'm gonna keep an eye on you. But yeah, yes, we're gonna find out. That came back to bite him in the ass, I guess.
Yeah, especially at least in this issue that you're going to break down, they have like a little nice before to explain a little bit more as to what happened earlier. But again, just phenomenal writing just to get us right into the next issue. And we're going to call Alopex Tommy because it's almost like Rita, like, is she good? Is she bad? You see her eyeballs lighting up like the evil Green Ranger, and he's all the time. So feel free to take it away with the next one.
Yeah, issue number 59. We get a little flashback to what happened before. Splinter has a talk with Kitsune about that game that she and her siblings are playing, but she only tells him that everyone in the world is pretty much part of the game, including the Shredder. Later on, it was her time to act, and she uses her powers to control Alopex. And Alopex attacks Jenica, who is guarding the tomb of Shredder, where the remains of Shredder are taken. Some mind-controlled elite guards take the remains of the Shredder to escape with them, but Splinter confronts them. But they are too much as Kitsune grabs Splinter and is about to kill him with a knife. Then we come back to the present time. The Turtles arrived, which brings us back to the present. So, and it goes straight into issue number 60, where we see that Kitsune actually stabs Splinter with a knife. But fortunately, he was wearing a Kevlar vest and he's pretty much fine. Kitsune then is able to mind control Raphael, Michelangelo, and Donatello, and they fight for her. Meanwhile, April is visited by Akka, like the other sibling of the Pantheon that April already met before in the Casey and April miniseries. And she gives her a feather from herself and tells her that her friends need her. With this magical feather, April confronts Kitsune, and with a magic spell, she is able to stop Kitsune's mind control. Kitsune then flees. She escapes via helicopter, But she finds out that she did not get the skull of Saki, but only his helmet, as Splinter once again outplayed her. He knew what she was up to, and so she didn't get the whole body of Shredder to do who knows what.
Yeah, so we get at least a little break in the action so we can catch our breath there before we bring this book in for a landing shortly. I do like that. Well played, Amato Yoshi. Well played indeed. So, did you have chills the first time you read Shrell? I did. The first time you read that name, like, wait a minute, that's a trigger word for me.
Yeah, and when you see like the character in Stasis, and he looks just like Jarrell in 2003 series with like this big mark over his eye. It's like, that's, and you know, for now he's in Stasis. It's not gonna be a problem, but you just know there's gonna be more with this character that we know from a 2003 series. So yeah, absolutely. Like when these characters, these names are dropped, and like, oh, it's going to mean something. You just know it.
Well, I sure hope you had a nice hot cup of warm tea, because we're going to need something to keep you stable, dude. We got another quick, fast-paced, multi comics coming at you, rapid fire here with the Street Phantoms.
Yeah, getting back to the storyline with the Street Phantoms in issue number 61, we see that Donatello and Angel, aka Nobody, they confront the Street Phantoms with some new tech to stop them, to like find out how we're gonna stop them, because they have these cloaks that make them intangible. Splinter wants to find out more about the Pantheon, but Raphael worries about Alopex, because after last issue, when she was controlled by Kitsune, she disappeared. On the other hand, there's also the trouble with the Street Phantoms, but once again, Mikey doesn't want to be part of this war. So Splinter tells Casey that he has a special job for him. Meanwhile, Harold in his lab gets attacked by the Street Phantoms, which brings us straight into issue number 62, where Casey meets with the Purple Dragons. That was the special job for that Splinter had for him, because since Han is missing, and Casey's like, hey, I'm gonna be the leader now, you know, and they start to fight. Harold is now the prisoner of Darius Dunn and the Street Phantoms. And the scientist who is working for Dunn is Dr. Libby Meitner, Harold's ex-wife. And it turns out that Harold's kidnapping was actually planned by Splinter, so that they can find out who is behind the Street Phantoms and destroy them once and for all. That's the end of issue 62.
Oof, and what does it say there? Tonight, we destroy the Street Phantoms. Another just phenomenal. Oof. They just know how to close these books, John. They just know how to close them.
Yeah, like always, like, okay, I have to come back next month to find out what's going to happen next time. They just know what they're doing.
Yeah, you just get you just stay hooked, and feel free to bring us in with 63 here with these another epic battle. I mean, if we haven't had enough battles, why not have another crazy one coming up?
Oh man, issue 63. Darius Dunn wants Harold to work for him, but he is not interested, and Harold is actually able to escape. So the Turtles and Splinter get ready for their attack on Dunn, but they run into some other gangsters and the fight starts in the streets. But then reinforcements arrive in the form of Casey Jones and the Purple Dragons, he is the new leader now, with some badass new masks, I gotta say. So this brings us straight into issue number 64, because after the fight with the mob is over, everyone gets ready for the rescue of Harold. Harold and Libby, meanwhile, meet inside the building of Dunn, and they plan to escape together. But one of the Street Phantoms attacks them and hurts Libby with a knife. The Turtles then arrive to save them, but Harold had enough of all this madness, and he leaves with the injured Libby and tells the Turtles to finally stay out of his life, because they brought him nothing but problems. The Foot and Splinter then attack Dunn, and Dunn gets defeated. Splinter offers Dunn to live if he gives up all his assets to him, but Dunn refuses, and Splinter orders Jennica to kill him, which she does. And this is finally enough for all the Turtles, and they leave Splinter and the Foot Clan for good. And yeah, with this, the book ends like, okay, all the Turtles are out of the picture. They're like, okay, Splinter, we don't want to be part of this killer clan. So yeah, that's like, oh, the family's breaking up. It's once again, that hurts.
Yeah, Mikey was right. How do you like reading that? You always hear X. Magneto was right. Michelangelo was right. He's always known as the dumb one. Being blunt here, that's what they always kind of say. That's even Gilbert Gottfried. Oh, that's right. You're the dumb one in the crossover episode. He calls him that. So, what are your thoughts here, dude? I mean, can you play devil's advocate here and back up Splinter and say the turtle should stick with him? I mean, he gave him a choice. He's like, look, and he's like, no, okay, well, forget it then.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's really hard. I mean, Splinter really is now the leader of the Foot Clan, and he has to take care of all these characters. And when there's like this rivals like done, what really should he do? Like, he cannot imprison all these characters. But I totally get it. I also thought, like, okay, now Splinter was taking one step too far. I mean, he already killed Shredder, but that was a battle to the death. That was like that was an honorable fight. Here it was just like an execution, and that was really, gotta say, this was the moment. Like, okay, Splinter has gone too far. This is too much. This is not the Splinter we know. He's now really like the big boss of a criminal organization, and I totally get that the Turtles turned their backs on him for now. But I also like it that Splinter is not like, oh, you betrayed my Turtles, betrayed me. It's like, no, this is their choice. They have to do this. I have to do what I have to do. But the Turtles, they are old enough to know what they are doing, and he's not. Okay, live your life. That's totally good. And yeah, he's still their father. After all this, he's still their father, and it's, I gotta say, it's hard for Splinter, but still, that was. I don't think that was the right choice for him to do this.
He keeps talking destiny. Do you really think this was his destiny here, to do this and just start killing people?
I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, what really is destiny? It's like he made a choice. Splinter made a choice here. He like, okay, I'm gonna jail you up. I'm gonna prison you. After all you've done, I'm gonna give it to the police or anything. But he's like, no, I have to get you out of the picture, and I'm gonna kill you. That was a choice. That was not his destiny. It was a choice that he took over the Foot Clan. It was a choice to kill Darius Dunn here, and yeah, that's what he's gonna have to live with.
Well, at least this time the Turtles are united. We had a great heart-to-heart with Raphael and Mike. Some of these would be Academy Award-winning dialogue here while they're just trying to bring the Brotherhood back. We've mentioned Mondo Gecko had a big talk with Slash in the previous book, so they know what they're doing with the writing. Final takeaways for our book number 7 here.
Yeah, it's like in this story we find out really what's happened after the big battle, like the big revelations that we had in the last book when Shredder was killed. Splinter became the leader of the Foot Clan. We're gonna find out, okay, what's Splinter now doing? We also get the little side story with the introduction of Leatherhead. So yeah, there's a lot going on, and it's a different world now. I mean, in the first 6 books, it's like, okay, Shredder is the big bad here, and we know who we have to fight, what we have to fight for. But now it's like this world has changed. It's different. It's something that we haven't seen before. Splinter becoming leader of the Foot Clan. Where this is going, and yeah, this was like the start of where we're gonna find out what this means. And I thought it was really, really interesting.
Oh, and buckle up again, my friend. It's time to go for a ride with who? Bebop and Rocksteady destroy everything. I was this is where I started to tail off. I do remember reading this, and I gotta say, I had a lot of fun reading this 5-parter that we're about to break down. Did you like the words to it? It wasn't Bebop and Rocksteady ruin everything. They destroy everything. Meaning, are they actually gonna win? What were your opening thoughts just seeing the name of that and just knowing that this was gonna come out?
Oh man, I said it before. I'm a big fan of this Bio and Rocksteady because they are just idiots, but they are just mighty strong and very horrifying. And it's a crazy combination. And yeah, when I heard this, like that was back in 2016, and this was a weekly comic that actually came out. Like every week we get a new issue of Bebop and Rocksteady Destroy Everything. And I was really looking forward to like, okay, we're gonna find out what's happening with Bebop and Rocksteady, what they're up to, and it's just gonna be wild and crazy. But nothing could have prepared me for what really happens in these issues, I gotta say.
Oh yeah, we've got like a whole bunch. It's almost like before Marvel, we had a multiverse pretty much here. So feel free to break this down whenever you need a breather. I just want to say I do enjoy, like, right when this opens, we get a nice little black and white tribute, so to speak, here.
Yeah, it's like we see we get like a callback to the Mirage comics, and it's like in black and white, and we see Savanti Romero in the dinosaur ages, and Bebop and Rocksteady approach him. So that was like the end of the Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles book with Savanti Romero in dinosaur time, but here it's like, okay, there's a twist there, and that's right from the start. Okay, that's gonna be interesting, definitely.
Oh, dude, well, feel free to break this down, as this is gonna be a wild run. Once again, we have different animation for the turtles in this artistry, different drawings and different looks for the turtles again, which I'm kind of cool with it to a degree, because it kind of helps keep your eyes active, you know what I mean? Like when you're reading, it's like, oh, okay. It keeps it keeps it glued a little bit more. I haven't hated any of them yet. I haven't ripped on any. Some I like more than the others, of course. Book 7 was probably one of my favorites so far. And of course, anytime you see Kevin Eastman's art for those annuals was always delicious too. But anyways, are Bebop and Rocksteady going to destroy everything? TMNT Talk's going to let you know if they do.
Okay, I'm really gonna try my best, but I gotta say, with this story, after a while, you're just like, okay, I'm not gonna try to understand everything that's going on. I'm just gonna go with it and enjoy the ride. So, the story starts with the turtles who find bones of Bebop and Rocksteady in the Museum of Natural History and a mummified version of Renette. And since Karai is gone, Bebop and Rocksteady actually, in the present time, they try to find a new gang for themselves, but they mess everything up. So they apparently ran into Savanti Romero and stole a time scepter from him. Renette appears to the turtles, and together they go after this missing time scepter. But by accident, Bebop and Rocksteady use the time scepter, and they land in the year 2000, meeting their human selves. So, Bebop and Rocksteady become friends with their human selves. The turtles go to the prehistoric age and run into another Bebop and Rocksteady, like on another timeline, and Savanti Romero. So, the turtles chase Bebop and Rocksteady through time, and through these time shenanigans, two sets of Bebop and Rocksteady crash into each other with the car. One of the duo apparently dies, and the other ones escape through another time portal. So the turtles and Bebop and Rocksteady, they tumble through time and space, and once again, I gotta say, you really cannot try to keep up with all these different timelines and when is who, what, Bebop, Rocksteady, where, and because it only gets crazier. So they land in the year 2012 at Stockton, so they went back in time there. Pure chaos ensues as everyone gets slaughtered. Mutants are created left and right, including some that look like Wingnut, Screwloose, and Scumbag. April even gets some mutagen on her, and she is shoved into another portal with Chet, aka the Fugitoid. So the turtles, Renette takes the turtles to the 7th, 9th dimension, where she's like, okay, maybe outside of time I can fix this chaos. Human and mutant Rocksteadies and Bebops split up as they blame each other for the chaos that happened. The Rocksteadies land in World War I, where the human Rocksteady gets killed. The Bebops land in the future, where aliens are everywhere and they crash the car, killing human Bebop. Then Bebop and Rocksteady jump through different time periods and different realities to find each other again, which brings us to the final issue, where Renette has a plan to throw all the Bebops and all the Rocksteadies through all time, except for the original ones, into a single dimension to clean up this time mess. Bebop and Rocksteady, they reunite and they have a fight with the turtles in the time tunnels. They are able to grab the time scepter from then and stop this madness by sending them to the Cretaceous period again. They put 2 corpses of Bebop and Rocksteady, like different Bebop and Rocksteady, at the museum from the start, and the mummified version of Renette is reawakened. And a little raptor came back with Bebop and Rocksteady to the present, named Anchovy. But the turtles, through their time travels, they also have now Pepperoni with them, like the little dinosaur is back with them. And yeah, so the time mess is cleaned up. Bebop and Rocksteady didn't actually destroy everything. They were about to destroy like all these timelines. They were going to collapse and destroy all of reality. But everything is fine now. And the turtles are back in their time with Pepperoni. And yeah, but we also see like some other stuff, like the mutated April is now in a different time period, is now a superhero calling herself Nightbug. So we have all these different universes, like the Bobsteady universe, where all these Bebops and Rocksteadies are living. And yeah, just wild, just crazy. And I loved it, but I cannot tell you that I understood all of the timelines, all of the things that were going on, but hey, it was great.
You know, maybe that's what they were trying to do. I never had any of them interviewed for a podcast here, but that could have been the point. It's like, look, it's Bebop and Rocksteady. It doesn't have to make sense. Let's just have a whole bunch of pixie sticks, get some Kool-Aid, get hyped on sugar, and just go, rah, just throw everything. I mean, issue 4, you've got something that looks like the OG Krang. You've got the purple toy car that we had when we were kids. The turtles are trying to find a catchphrase. Eventually, they come up with turtle power. April getting mutated was just bonkers on all things. Just I'm with you. It was a wild ride. This is one where, again, if you guys are looking, this is not too canon, but if you're looking for a fun time, it's still a fun read with 5 issues. Wouldn't you agree? Oh,
absolutely. I mean, I remember like at the start, like the first 1 or 2 issues, I really tried to like get all the timelines. Like, okay, now Bebop and Rocksteady are now at this time, so they travel back to their time, and they tried, and then they ran into their future selves, and so on and so forth. But after a while, you just give up because there's just so much stuff going on. They jump through all these realities. Like, okay, just have fun.
Yeah. Well, and now this is what we talked about before we went live here, Christian, is can you explain a little bit in regards to how this book is going to get broken down for our readers who are trying to check into IDW for the first time? Because for me now, as a beginner, this is like I say, where I tailed off years ago. I really don't understand. Like, you have Universe 1, 2, 3, 4, then 1 through 5, and then 5. So can you just, before we break down the comics, just how they put this in order and just any insight you got for us would be greatly appreciated here.
Okay, so yeah, now in these books we get the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Universe series. That was like a sister series to the main story because by now the IDW TMNT universe was already so big with so many characters that they could not fit all the stories they have to tell, all of the characters into one single book. So they started with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Universe. And that was, as I said, like a side book to the main story that also tells important stories and important, we find some important characters that going to be, well, important later on in the main story. And it's like, it's not like they're like, okay, 1 month we have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 1 month we have TMNT Universe. No, they were like, it came out side by side. So this is what they tried to do, like to keep up with this. And it went for a long time. It went for 25 issues. And I guess you could say it's like the mini series, like the specials or the micro series, like stories that are important, but that like if you don't read all of it, you are also fine. But if you also read like the side stories, you get more out of it. You get more information, and that's pretty much what they try to do with the TMNT Universe books.
Okay, yeah, because we'll see Bishop pop in here. We'll see a couple other. We'll see Baxter. So a lot of familiar IDW characters are involved here, and feel free to break these down any way you see fit. I got a little shocked when Baxter shoves April. You never put a hands on the woman. I understand there's a time if they're coming at you super violently, but usually it's like without an exception to the rule, it's just never put your hands on a woman. To see Baxter shove April, I was like, ooh, this is going to be exciting reading these.
So yeah, let's start with TMNT Universe. And the first 4 issues of TMNT Universe are one big story, which starts with April having a meeting with Baxter at TCRI. The turtles outside, they keep an eye on her, but there is also a mutant scorpion named Sodi, who, as we find out, works for Null inside the building to steal data from Baxter. And if that's not enough, outside of the building is Agent Bishop and the EPF. So inside the building, the turtles confront Sodi while the Earth Protection Force gets ready to attack all the mutants. So the EPF storms the building. It's big fight, everyone versus everyone. The EPF hunts mutants, turtles fight Sodi, and the EPF Baxter, in a cool armor, fights for himself. April is then able to escape the building while the turtles still fight for their lives with the EPF. Bishop is ready for his war against mutants. He's like, okay, I'm really getting ready for this because mutants are a problem. So yeah, Bishop, he's in a different universe, but he's still the same character pretty much. Raphael gets more unhinged throughout the story as he thinks with all these enemies popping up, he could lose his family again, but Michelangelo is the one who promises him that that won't happen. They will always look out for each other. And as all hell breaks loose with all the EPF soldiers, suddenly backup appears as April, who was able to escape, was able to contact Sodi's employer, Null. Bishop is overwhelmed and his troops retreat. Baxter and April are then able to form a partnership after everything they went through. And so that craziness is over. The turtles go back home, fall asleep in the lair, but Raphael he stays up for some extra practice to be able to protect everyone in the future. And that's where issue number 4 of TMNT Universe ends.
Once again, phenomenal dialogue. When you read that line in the second one, Mikey, you're going to want to look away. It's like, dude, how graphic are they going to get with these comics? It's like your mind. I mean, again, I still say 2003 really helped set the tone and the bar for where the Turtles can go. And I think now I'm getting 2003 vibes reading this universe. Just the animation, just like the dialogue. Mikey kind of looks like that, a little bit more with that shadiness. So, oof. So how did you enjoy these universe ones? I know, well, you pretty much love anything TMNT, but I appreciate your breaking these down. So any shock value? Did you like Bishop getting some more love and kind of being more of a focal point in these?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, he now arrived in the story. But it's still like, okay, we don't really know much about him. I mean, that's what I love about Bishop. It's like a mystery character. But he's starting to make his moves and like, okay, it's going to be interesting. But also like there's, as I said, they really bring in all these different characters to give them a little bit of spotlight. We see more of Null, like what she's up to. And we also get a new character named Zodi, and she's a totally crazy and psychotic scorpion mutant. And gotta say, big fan of her because of that. I love my villains super crazy. And as I said, like when Raphael was confronting him, I was like, he's really gonna be ready to like step aside through her. It's like, Raphael really had enough. So yeah, it's like a cool little story here, but mostly it's like, okay, we are just starting here with the story with Bishop and everything. It's like okay, like a little appetizer for. We know there's gonna be much more with him, but we see that what he's gonna do to fight this war against mutants, and yeah, it's not gonna be better from then on.
No, it's not. Now we're getting more into a Leonardo main event here in the next issue. Am I correct?
Yeah, that would be the story Inside Out, which was a backup story in TMNT Universe number 1 through 5. And yeah, there's a wild one, once again, with some wild art here, where Leonardo, in the story, he fights some mysterious ninjas, including 4-armed samurai creatures. He escapes to a park and gets attacked by Koya and some weird Utroms. Then he runs into a sewer where he runs into the Red King and 3 Shredder monsters. Then suddenly a dragon confronts Leo, and Leo jumps into the water below and like, okay, what is going on here? This feels weird. Then he comes up and emerges at Harold's lab and gets attacked by Metalhead and then the Fugitoid. But then suddenly Casey appears and attacks Leo, and then even Dark Leo, like when Leonardo was controlled by Kitsune and the Foot Clan. Even Dark Leo confronts Leonardo. And after all this craziness, we see Leonardo awaken from a meditation. And it was all just in Leonardo's head as a kind of mental training to confront enemies even in your thoughts. Like, okay, now it makes sense. So yeah, this is a nice little story.
Yeah, that was always good. And then coming up next, dude, you got to work on your game. You can't go to my girl Angel like that in this next issue. You just can't and expect it to live. You just can't. I'm like, good, finally she's going to find her man. But anyways, dude, have fun breaking this one down. And when you're done, I just want to talk about all the Easter eggs that me and you found at the end of this book, too, because they're just too much fun not to talk about.
Oh, boy. So, yeah, this is like the big Christmas episode, Christmas issue, where the Turtles, they're having a Christmas party. So everyone gets invited to the church lair. Woody is there, Angel, April, Casey, Slash, and the Mutanimals, minus Old Hop. And they have a big party, and it's just a little briefer, I gotta say. In the end, Donatello switches on the Christmas lights, and the whole church lights up. After the party, the Turtles go to bed, and a mysterious stranger sneaks in and leaves a present for Mikey, a new pair of nunchakus. Outside of the church lair, we find out that the stranger turns out to be Splinter, who wishes his sons a very Merry Christmas. And with this nice little moment, the issue ends.
And our buddy was trying to have the hots for Angel, our pizza buddy Woody, and Angel was not having any of it. He just, it's just, I really wanted to, you always talk about, deleted scenes. At the end of the issue, he says, Worth, like, what did he, I know she poured, like, the eggnog or whatever they were drinking on his head. I really want to know what else happened. I wanted to see her do, like, a throw, like, like a judo flip or something, just to get him on the ground. So, but anyways, dude, let's talk about all the cool Easter eggs. This is where you just get to have fun as a comic book artist. So, when Splinter's coming around, let's see here. Let's see how many you can find here. We've got Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby. We've got Albert Einstein. We've got Wolverine with even like the sheet, like the claws coming out. Feel free to share some of the other ones that you found that were just like, oh my god, this is just so cool. Checking out the Turtles' bedroom, so to speak.
Oh man, I should have it in front of me right now. Was there anything else? I remember the Wolverine one. That was pretty cool. I mean, hey, come on, Raphael is a Wolverine fan. There's no surprise there. And we also see like Pepperoni sleeping there in Raph's room. That's also cute. What else? Yeah, there's just so much stuff in there.
Ice Ice
once
Baby
again,
poster was awesome. I thought that was cool too.
That was so cool. Yeah, that was the best.
Oh man, the milk and cookies. That was again for guys like us who didn't get Christmas episodes. We do get them, and eventually, hopefully, on Shellanamas we can break down Saturday morning adventures because there is that like Shredder Con that has a Christmas feel to it too. So I love that. I mean, I know you love the horror Turtles. Well, you love all of them, but horror's more your thing. Christmas is mine. So I was happy to see that. And after all that joy comes some craziness with our Gator friend coming back and a couple other guys that we haven't seen for a while.
Yeah, I was jumping back into the universe with TMNT Universe number 5, where we see that Han, who has now left the Mutanimals, the partnership, is part of a dogfighting ring. But Old Hop is not finished with him. He goes after him. But then suddenly Leatherhead appears and he attacks Han. So Hop and Leatherhead work together to fight Han and his goons. Because Old Hop is like, hey, you're a mutant. You can be part of my team. You can join the Mutanimals. But Leatherhead is not interested because we find out that Leatherhead actually thinks that mutants are abominations of nature and they should not exist. Like talking about himself. And Leatherhead then goes back to his hideout in the sewers, and Old Hop goes back to the headquarters, but no one is there since all the Mutanimals went to Mikey's Christmas party. So like this is the story what happened to Old Hop while we had the Christmas party. It's like two stories side by side, which I thought was very interesting take.
Yeah, same here. It's and how do you like the chemistry with Leatherhead and Hob in this one?
Yeah, I mean, you think like Leatherhead, of course, Leatherhead gonna join the Mutanimals. Leatherhead is always part of the Mutanimals and is like, because Old Hop is like, hey, mutants, they are the next stage of evolution. We are better than the humans. And Leatherhead is like totally on the other side. Is like, no, mutants, they should not exist. They are an abomination of nature. And Old Hop is like, no, it's like they're really on this not on the same side here, and it's like really interesting take, like two perspectives of seeing the same thing. Like, what are mutants? Are they the best or are they the worst? And so yeah, that was a really interesting take here between Old Hop and Leatherhead.
Yeah, and it's nice to see, like you're saying here, Leatherhead's he's starting to get the vibe of the Jim Cummings Leatherhead. He's got his jacket, so to speak, like a vest, so he's trying to get some clothes. Yeah. He's not naked Leatherhead like in the other shows. So, oh boy! But coming up next for more in this universe here, I believe, right? In Universe 6, I believe, is coming up next.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, that's a really good one. So this story, it starts where Michelangelo in the sewers runs into a cop who is searching for her brother-in-law who disappeared in the sewers. Mikey and the cop then get attacked by a creature made entirely out of worms. The creature calls itself Worm, and he was created by Mutation. He attacks Mikey and they fight in Worm's lair, where Worm has brought all the things together. Like when people were throwing things away and like, no, I'm going to take care of all this. These are things that are important to me. And we also get like all this information, like all these little worms in the sewers, they always see like what's going on, what's happening, and they always like spying on the turtles, and Worm knew all about it, that they were a family, they were happy together, and he had nothing. So yeah, he attacks Mikey, they have a fight at Worm's lair, and which catches then on fire, and the creature who wants to take care of all his belongings stays behind to apparently perish in the fire. But as long as a single worm survives, Worm could always come back. So, ooh, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I was trying to talk you out of that one fast, if you know my drift. I'm kidding. I was trying to, because just how much, as a horror fan, how much did you appreciate the artwork here? Just because, do you see Michelangelo's eyes? I mean, they really wanted you to feel like you were reading like either... Well, you're not watching a horror film, you're just really getting the read and getting that in your head here, especially like with the veins in Mikey's eyes, like the pupils and stuff.
Yeah, the artwork, once again, it transports really this feeling, because like Worm really, as I said, is made of all these giant worms. It's like a fusion of all these worms, and he really such a creepy take on the character. I mean, he had this giant hammer that he uses and everything. Like, oh, he just feels so creepy, and it really transported the vibe of this with the artwork.
Yeah, dude, it's madness. We've got coming up next. We've got my girl coming out with Raphael here in issue 66. We're back on track. I mean, which is pretty good too, because we had a huge, book 7 was just issue after issue after issue, and it's like you're taking shot after shot after shot from a boxer. So they gave us a little time out to breathe. Enjoy the scenery with some, Bebop and Rocksteady and Universe, and now we're back into the main story with issue 66.
Yeah, where we find out that Raphael and Angel, they are in Alaska, and they're looking for Alopex because they tracked her there. And we see that Alopex's mind is still under constant fear of Kitsune and her mind control, as Kitsune still tries to hurt her in her mind. She tries to reach her, she tries to get back her under her control. So Alopex inside her mind fights Kitsune, is able to defeat her in her mind for now, and then she is reunited with Raphael and Angel, and she's like, okay, I'm cool now. I'm ready to go back to New York, and like, team is back. Fine, Alopex, let's go back home. And yeah, that's TMNT number 66.
And then now it's going to get a little weirder for me because a lot of these are like, I guess we talked about this one really quick. It's just almost a minute, right? This Universe 10, this is why I wanted your help, because was this just like a short? I mean, nobody bought this comic on their own, did they, Christian, back in the day?
You mean the next story, like the little mini story? That's,
yeah, it's Universe
next.
number 10. Yeah, it's only about like three pages.
Yeah, the TMNT universe comics. Most of the time, they had like this little backup story that were just a few pages. Like this story that's called Teenage Mutant Ninja Pepperoni. That was a backup story from TMNT Universe number 10. And yeah, there's not much about this. It's like a 2-page story where we see Pepperoni dreaming about being anthropomorphic and going on ninja adventures with the turtles. And as the real Pepperoni wakes up, she grabs Raphael's size and runs around the lair all crazy like a cat does. And the turtles and Alobax like, okay, what's up with her? And well, she had a dream to be a ninja, and she just wants to live the ninja style.
Yeah, it's a little fun stuff. That's the one we talked before. We deserve a plushie of her one day, right? We deserve a Pepperoni plushie in our life. We could use that on our shelves. Yeah. Or even like the Garfield one in the car that was always so popular when we were kids in the 80s and 90s, just clinging to your window. Imagine a little Pepperoni hanging out there. Maybe ETSY, maybe there's a custom person listening to our podcast here on Spotify and YouTube. Like, you know what? That's a good idea. And then I'm going to write TMNT Talk. I'm going to write Shellanomics. Hey, guys, we got a Pepperoni plushie just for you. That would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Oh, it would be fantastic. And on top of that, give me an ice cream kitty plushie and Chompy and yeah, all the other little animals. I love them all.
Well, they had teeny beanies at McDonald's. We can call them teeny muty ninny turdies or something. We'll have to get our marketing talk after the podcast here. We'll think of something to get those other characters here.
Sounds good.
This one's going to be another one that kind of throws me around, so please feel free to give us a little more of a breakdown with it's called Universes 6 through 9, but when I was reading these, it kept saying, what is ninja? So it looks like everybody has like a little part in the spotlight here.
Yeah, this story is called What is Ninja, which was a backup story from TMNT Universe 6 through 9. And this is all about Jennica. And we find out more about Jennica as she tries to find out what makes a ninja by following the turtles around town as they fight bad guys and helping people and so on and so forth. And we also see some of Jennica's past. We get to know more about her, as she had an abusive father as a child. She had a bad life. She helped some friends with a robbery, and in the end, they left her, and she was arrested. She went to prison and met a member of the Foot Clan there. Together they escaped prison, but her friend got killed. But then she became a member of the Foot Clan under Shredder. That's how she landed there. But now she is still part of the Foot Clan, but under Splinter's leadership. And Splinter tells her that together they will bring the Foot Clan back to old glory. And yeah, so now Jennica has found a new purpose in life as Splinter's right-hand woman.
He knew before we did, because again, he even had in one of those issues we covered earlier, like one of the last words he said when he was in pain, save Jennica. Why? What importance does she have? We don't even really know her too well, but like you say, we're going to get there eventually. But coming up near the end of this book here, we go back to some more new artwork styles, and we've got Donnie and Metalhead here.
Yeah. TMNT Universe number 7 and number 8, there's a 2-part story where we see that Donatello rebuilt Metalhead. And as Donatello reactivates him, because the last time we saw Metalhead, it blew up when Donatello was sent back into his real body. Donatello reactivates him, but Metalhead talks and thinks that he is actually the real Donatello, because apparently when Donatello's mind was inside Metalhead, a backup of his memory was made and is now stored inside Metalhead. So Metal Don, as he is called, is like a copy of Donatello, but he wants to be his own thing. So Donatello takes Metalhead to a zoo, because the zoo, it's like something that calms him down. But then Metalhead sees a rhinoceros, and he goes crazy as he remembers the time Bebop and Rocksteady almost killed him. So Metalhead attacks Donatello to get his real body back. But Metalhead can't bring himself to kill Donatello and runs off. So Donnie asks his brothers to help him find Metalhead, and they find him at Harold's old lab. But there, Metalhead found a new body, a much bigger version of Metalhead that Harold was working on. He uploads his memories into his new body. Then Metalhead goes to TCRI building to use the technology there to finish his new body. A perfect copy of Donatello with all his memories, but without things like compassion or empathy. So to like become the ultimate being somehow. Donatello confronts Metalhead, but in the end, Metalhead flies away to who knows where, and is like this new Metalhead and sort of kind of evil version of Metalhead now is somewhere out there. And yeah, that's where the issue and the book ends.
Oh, dude, it was nice to get a catch our breath for a little bit. Still a lot to take in, still a lot of action, just not as much in-depth story because, like you were saying, these were more shorter stories, so to speak, and they just wanted to include everybody here. So while you were reading this, I want to ask you this again. You know what happens. I don't, to a degree, in regards to what happens. But did you have any predictions that was going to happen in this book? Did you see Bebop and Rocksteady, after destroying everything, were they going to get a bigger role back into the Foot Clan? Were they going to try and beg Splinter to be a part of it? I was hoping we'd see something like that. We might. But any predictions you had after we've covered 8 books? That's a lot of issues so far. So anything that you were like, wow, what did you want to see happen with the story?
Yeah, I pretty much wanted to find out more about Bishop because, yeah, I mean, he's Bishop. And, like...
Enough said. I like that. He's Bishop.
Yeah.
That's all you gotta say. I love
it. And, yeah, it's like... So, yeah, as I said, like, Bebop and Rocksteady are still out there. And I was like, they're gonna play a part there, but we don't know what part yet. And now, like, in the end, we also have Metalhead, and a new version of Metalhead that I definitely did not see coming. And I always thought that this story was so interesting because, like, just imagine, like, you waking up and you know that you are you. But there's another you that says like, no, I'm the real one. And you're like a clone. And like, that must be so confusing. It must make you totally crazy. And I mean, I get Metalhead here. And it's, once again, such an interesting take on the character to turn him this way. And yeah, it's like, there's so much going on. There's so much going on in these books. And like, it only builds like building blocks, one on top of another, and this more story going on, and you can never be sure what's going to happen next. I could not have predicted where this is going. Like, okay, I mean, I know that Bishop's going to play a part here. Not yet sure what. And yeah, I mean, we also have the story, the Utroms on Burner Island. There's going to be more with them, with the Utroms and Fugitoid. And there's so many storylines going side by side, so it's never a dull moment for these turtles, pretty much.
Yeah, I have a good question here that I don't think anyone may have asked you. So, we like Discord now. Back in the day, it was more the Technodrome forums. Facebook was still, around with groups and Reddit. Were you talking to any friends at this time? Like, what was the feedback of the community as a whole while this was around with these books? Were you writing to anybody like, hey, are you excited for this? Like, were you interacting with anybody else in the fan base?
Back then, I think I was mostly, I was on the Technodrome forums.
Okay.
But I was mostly a lurker. I was like in the background to see what people think of these comics. And as far as I remember back then, like everyone was really into these comics. They're like, everyone's like, okay, this is like the ultimate comic version of the Turtles. Like all of this come together, all these characters, all these storylines. And yeah, pretty much everyone's really happy with these books. And yeah, they had a really big impact on, for us, for the Turtle fans. That's pretty much what I remember. But I don't think that I really did I have anyone back then? It was like 2016, 2017. There was a German TMNT forum back then where we talked a little bit about it. So yeah, I think that was pretty much it. But yeah, I gotta say, for me, it really got better in the last few years when I really found some other TMNT fans. I mean, hey, we too are talking right now.
Yeah.
So it's really like really met some people who I can call friends, who I can talk to these comics, who are also into these comics as much as I am. So yeah, it's really gotten better. I mean, hey, Discord and everything, pretty cool. And yeah, like with all the stuff, like all social media, I mean, yeah, we know not everything with social media is cool, but it really helps connect people to talk about the stuff that they love. So I'm really glad for the friends that I met on the way who are just into these comics and into Turtles just like I am.
I'm with you on that. So we've talked about everything here. We've covered everything, guys. Another episode of Shellonomics is done, but I want to say I think Christian's getting some inspiration from our combos because I saw your latest English episode, and you're starting to eat the full pizza now. You've got a whole. Can you tell us more about that episode? You broke down more than one comic in one show. Who is this guy now?
Oh boy, yeah. I mean, on my own podcast, TMNT The Talk, I recently released a new English episode where I talked about the TMNT Battle Nexus series, issues 2 through 5. So yeah, 4 issues in one episode. That's wild. Because yeah, this story recently finished with issue number 5, and I was like, okay, what I'm gonna talk about. Let's go with it. I just want to finish the story as it is done now. So yeah, I went with it, and yeah, because yeah, that's pretty much. I wanted to really get to the end. It did not feel right to like do 2 or 3 issues. Like, oh, come on, let's do all 4 issues and be done with it. We're over with the story, and that's cool. So yeah, it's hey, when I started, I really was talking about like 1 issue, maybe 2. Nowadays, it's completely normal when I talk about 3 of the newest comic books that came out, and yeah, 4 issues, that's a new one. So yeah, and if you want to hear this, check out TMNT The Talk. Yeah, as I always say, everyone is welcome. Also on the website TMNTTalk.com.
Always a good time over there too, my friend. Well, dude, we hope to have you back to make some more progress. One of the writers that people are not the biggest fan of, there's been a mixed reaction. It looks like we're going to cover one of her episodes, issues, next week in one of those 2 books. It'll be exciting to see that, and I'll give you guys my honest review because it's just a sneak peek, I believe. I'm looking ahead here, right, Christian? I think she has one in there. Looks like she.
Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah.
So,
yeah. And I really want to know what you're gonna think about later stories. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be an interesting ride.
We're getting closer and closer, dude. We just wrapped up issue 66. I know they say a lot of the fans, when you get to issue 100, that's where it starts to change a little bit. And sometimes change isn't always bad, but we will give you our honest thought, which is what we always do here on Shellonomics, dude. As always, Christian, it's always a pleasure having you here, having your energy, having your passion for Turtles, and helping us get our own Shellonomics, especially with the breakdown in that book 8. It did throw me in for a little bit of a loop with Universe because I didn't know where they were going. So thank you for making our crooked places straight. And until next time, my dude, thank you again.
Hey, you're welcome. And thanks to you for once again bringing us together to talk about these Turtles. So yeah, until next time, I guess.
Another episode of Shellonomics is in the books. If you guys have not yet checked out all of our other amazing episodes, we've had amazing guests. We've talked about the 1987 cartoon, 2003 cartoon, Next Mutation, Coming Out of Their Shells, video games, the comics, crossover comics like Batman and the Power Rangers, and tons of amazing content with you guys, the fans. Be sure to stop by our YouTube channel, Spotify, and Twitch. And if you have somebody who'd like to be on the show, get in touch with us at kingmikedas@gmail.com. That's KINGMIKEDAS@gmail.com.